Oh, I guess I was right to make a big deal about all the ex-husband calls in your phone. Because I'm not gone 72 hours and he's in your house. And you know how I feel about that. I'm not going to say it again, Brian. Every call that has his name attached to it in my phone is him calling to talk to his son. There is no me talking to chat with him or something. I told you time and time again I did not want this man in the same house that we're raising our daughter in. This is why he has supervised visits in neutral settings, not our home. And I'm not gone, again, 72 hours, and I come back and he's leaving the house. The doorbell rang, Brian. By the time I got to the door, my mother had the door open. And my mother is telling Joey to leave. And they have words, and then Joey walks in and he starts to explain that he's worried about me because of what you did, this and all that, right? And I'm telling him to leave. I'm constantly telling him to leave, contemplating whether or not I should call the police. And then my children are in the other room, and now I'm asking myself, do I want to do this? And it's a lot for me to consider and make moves in a moment where I don't even know what's going on, okay? You think I'm this expert at... I can't make it any more clear to you. I do not want him around our daughter. I want those lives separate. He is a toxic, dangerous individual. Hey, but also, didn't you see when you were arriving and you saw Joey leaving, you saw my mom come in with Charlotte? Because I asked her to leave with Charlotte. I remembered what you told me, and I said, take our daughter away from him. And that's what happened. You know, you've put me in a very difficult position, a horrible position. Because I asked you, I made one request, and it was not to have this man in our home. And now I see him walking out, and I can't find any valid excuse as to why you would let him in. I don't know how you expect me to react to this, because now if I walk out again, I'm the bad guy. But if I just say, okay, great, he was in our house, I forgive you, what does that make me? I understand that, and I apologize. I guess I should have called the police, but I wanted to get him out on my own, and I did. It took a minute, but I did. And I'm pissed at my mother, but I got him out. And if you don't believe me that something didn't happen or whatever, check the nanny cam. You cheated on me with him back in the day, right? And I'm trying my best to not attach that to this. But even if I wanted to look at the nanny cam, there's no sound. Okay, but you can see nothing happened. Would I really tell my mom to take Charlotte, leave Junior, and me and Joey rekindle a flame? Like, please think rationally. You still let this man in our home. That's what I can't figure out. That's what's bothering me. That's what's telling me that I cannot turn the other cheek to this. Brian, I really didn't want to call the police. I didn't want to file another report. Okay? This man was in our home for supervised visits. You're really I don't want to diminish what you're feeling, but to badger me about this when I didn't want it to happen, when it inconvenienced me too. Like, I'm in the same boat as you. Alright, Miranda, with the way I'm feeling right now, I don't think this is the time to downplay what just happened. I need to know why he was let in. I need to know what the reason was that you opened the door and let your ex-husband walk in. That's the thing. You keep saying I let him in, and I explained to you what happened, and this is why I feel like you're just creating this scenario in your head. I don't know what to say. Do you understand now why I made that comment about being present when he calls you to speak to Junior? I hate when people make me out to be this easily manipulated, stupid woman who can't make decisions for herself and is helpless. Okay, I chose not to call the police. That was my decision. You can call it stupid, you can say that I shouldn't have done that, but that was my decision. I don't care how I look, I don't care how I'm portrayed, that's what I chose. I did not want to call the police with my children in the next room. It's fatiguing. How many times is an officer in my home? You're telling me that if you went through everything that I went through, you'd be happy to call the police and deal with this again?
when you can just easily talk to your husband and tell him to leave? Because I know him. You talk him down and eventually he goes away. It's my mother's fault for opening the door.
I'm really trying to be understanding of you. I always do. I always try to think about what this man puts you through and what happens to your brain when you see him and how much trauma you feel. And I know that your decision-making skills, I don't know. But I'm finding it hard to give you any excuse for what just happened. And my brain, do you want to get back with him? Is that why these things happen?
You're making me really upset for you to think that. For you to think like I asked for any of this to happen to me. I make the best decisions with the pile of crap that I'm given.
So now I'm tasked with deciding whether or not I want to leave and think about this, or if I want to be in the house with you. And I don't like being in that position.
Okay, can we be realistic here? Because you want to point fingers and tell me that I'm bad at making decisions and that I'm stupid or whatever. Okay, maybe you didn't call me stupid, but that's how I feel. You were the one that got arrested because of your temper. You were the one that attracted him to my house because you gave him a reason to act like the White Knight in shining armor. Because he wants to look good and make me look bad and document everything for the family court. You know what this custody agreement is and what it entails, and you still get yourself arrested. So if anyone's... I don't want to blame you, but you're not going to make me look stupid and helpless. You're not going to frame it like that.
Yeah, you know what? Your knight in toxic shining armor would not have even known about any of this and would not have shown up at your house trying to help you if he didn't know about it. Which means maybe we shouldn't be spilling our business to family members, knowing that the family members are just going to tell everyone.
Straight, Brian. I did not spill any beans to anyone. I did not spill our business to anyone. That's not me. I don't do that.
I don't know if you just ignored the last part of my sentence, but your family members did. They always do. It always gets out. Everyone always talks.
We're on an internet show. Eventually, it always comes out. You signed up for this. I signed up for this.
I can't be in the same house with you right now. I'm upset. And I don't want to keep arguing with you. And I don't want to say things that I don't mean. And I don't want to be emotional. So I'm asking you, can I go take Charlotte with me while I go blow off steam and give us a little bit of space?
I'm putting my foot down, okay? We have a daughter now. This isn't high school, okay, I'm gonna stop talking to her and leave for a bit. No, I don't do relationships like that. I never believed in let's break up, let's get back together type of stuff.
Okay, but I can't be here right now. Nothing good is going to come with us being in the same room, in the same house, on the same property.
My mom may have made a stupid decision in opening that door and thinking she could yell my ex-husband away. But sometimes, her unsolicited advice is correct. And when you have a daughter, and you're establishing a life with someone, when you have a squabble, you need to settle it in the moment. It cannot be, I'm going to sleep and we'll settle it later. It cannot be, I'm leaving and I'm going to take some overtime and we'll settle it later. No. We need to talk things out, Ryan.
I don't ask you for much. I really don't. I try never to make any requests to put you in an uncomfortable position. The only thing I asked you was to not let this man in our house, to keep a distance from him, to maybe let me be present while you make phone calls, and can't do any of that. So what is there to settle right now? No, neither one of us are willing to compromise. You think I'm wrong for feeling this way, and I think you're wrong for feeling the way that you do.
You're just looking for an excuse to run. The one thing I never do, whether it makes me look bad or not, I never run from things. I stand here and I take it.
Alright, I guess I'm leaving Charlotte here, because I can't stay.
With the recent events, I don't think Joey wanted to bother you with this, but he wanted me to tell you that he will not be telling the family court people about Brian's arrest. So if they find out it didn't come from him, as good as news as that can be for me, He's just doing it to look good. I know he's your son, but that's the truth. Well, I can't disagree with you on that one. I also wanted to let you know, don't know if you care about this, but I'm going to be moving in with Joey. Oh. Good to know. I only say this because if Joey does wind up with weekend custody, I'll be there to make sure everything goes okay, and the junior will be in good hands, and you can worry a little bit less. I don't really... Sounds good. Good to know again. I don't mean to ruin your mood or anything, but I feel like I'm obligated to tell you these things as Junior's grandmother. It does seem like Joey will be winding up with that weekend custody because whenever the family court people talk to him, they don't talk about that as a matter of if, but rather a matter of when. To be honest, Mill, thanks for sharing and being civil, but I have 2 children in the other room, and that's what I focus on until I go back to work. I don't focus on Joey. I just hope that him getting weekend custody doesn't affect your relationship with your other baby's father, you know. Maybe if it comes down to it, you can say that in court as like a defense. Come what may. As your friend and as Miranda's friend, I really don't think that she did anything with Joey.
She makes it hard for me to love her unconditionally. I will always love her unconditionally, but when she does the things that make me so uncomfortable and does these things that I just can't give her an excuse for, how can I be in the same house when all we're gonna do is not talk to one another? All I'm gonna do is sit in silence and stew about how mad I am.
Right, and I understand what you're feeling emotionally and what you must have felt when you saw him leaving the house. But if you think rationally, at this point, after having a baby together, you really think she would do anything malicious behind your back?
You know how my mind works, Victor. I think about the most negative scenarios and I dream things up in my head. One minute she's inviting him in and telling me that's fine, it was just one time, whatever. Then it's the phone calls. And then what else is it going to be, Victor? That's what I worry about. And if she's not understanding why I'm uncomfortable about this, how am I going to plant my flag on anything else moving forward and feel like we can talk about it without her just dismissing me?
I think what your problem is right now, what it may be for the foreseeable future if you don't handle it, it's that you're hung up on her cheating on you.
I mean this when I say this, Victor. I don't want to be hung up on it. I don't want to think about it. But when I come home and I see this man leaving the house, what am I supposed to think?
When you started dating her, you loved her unconditionally, and I think you need to get back to that. Because until you can love her unconditionally and stop worrying about those things, those walls are going to be up.
There's just always that thing in the back of my head that I can't turn off. And it's always nagging at me. She still loves him. And I always have to squash it out and say, no, that's an insecurity in you, Brian. And I really thought that that insecurity would disappear when we had a baby together. And it's still here. And I don't know why.
She divorced her husband. She let you move in. She had a baby with you. She puts up with a lot with you. I truly think she's in love with you. I don't think you have anything to worry about.
I just need him out of the picture. That's what needs to happen. I need her ex-husband to no longer be around. And I'm not talking mafia stuff. I just mean these supervised visits, these custody dates, court dates, phone calls. I need them to stop.
At this stage, how on earth would you ever get Joey out of the picture at this point?
Well, I do have one idea.